And welcome back. So this starts Saturday. So this is where I met my language partner, Tatiana. Oh my gosh. So we have been talking, like I said, for like almost 4 years. Almost 4 years. It'll be like 4 years this summer because right now it's March 2022. And I think we finally connected sometime, I don't know, July of 4 years ago, 2018. But yeah, so I went over there, and so the plan was to kind of connect with her around 2, and so we did that. And so I met her sister. Her sister also has a YouTube channel with natural hair. So I'll be sure to try to link that below as well, in case you want to follow her. And so, right, that way, if you want to hear the accent, learn a little bit more, if that's another area of interest for you. So it was just so awesome to like meet her in person, go into their house. I met their 2 dogs that I've always seen on, in her pictures, because we have made our friendship to where we are friends on social media as well, as far as sending each other things through WhatsApp. But yeah, it was just so nice just talking to them. We did like a candy exchange. So before I was like, what can we do in addition to that? So I brought some candy for me. I brought some Reese's because she likes peanut butter, nuts and chocolate. So I sent her some pictures of like, which, you have here, which do you have there? Because that was another thing. I was like, what do they have there? And so I went to the store. I said, I'm just going to take some pictures of some things. And we settled upon Reese's Pieces or Reese's Cups that were the dark chocolate, the original, and the white chocolate. And then I brought her some trolleys, which they end up having their version of it, just something different, but they didn't have that flavor, because that was a tip I looked at online, that where they mentioned that sometimes they don't have like the other version. They have the original, but maybe they don't have the varieties. And this one was the very berry variety that I love myself. And so we exchanged that. They gave me some candies. I did get a video of at least me going through those candies, so I'll have to upload that as well. But it was just nice. We chatted. We just talked about culture. We talked about blackness. We talked about different things, because they watch some things in they do watch some things in English. Well, actually, I probably think they watch it in Spanish, but just some of the behaviors. And so we just really just having a great language exchange. And then probably around 8 or 9 o'clock, we finally went out to go eat. Like I said, Colombians, or at least these Caleños, are late night people. So we walked across the street down a little strip to go get something to eat because they were in an apartment. And I tried this. It was an arepa, but it was very thin, very delgado, and I had some toppings on top of it. Because I was also there for the food. Please believe. The hostel gave me free breakfast, so I think that's why I don't have anything as for food mentioned in some of these other areas. But anyway, and so we just had a great talk while we were there, coming back, and they treated me, had some recommendations of what I should taste. And so we walked back, and they were just very protective of me. Because I know sometimes some people are wondering, like, well, would you go visit, whether it's like, a romantic thing or a platonic thing. I felt that we both vetted each other, not intentionally like an interrogation, but just through the nature of creating this relationship, because they invited me into their home. And, and people could take advantage of people, but I just really felt safe with them, and I felt like they felt safe with me as far as a lot of things we're had been talking about. So I felt like it was a true relationship that wasn't based off of trying to exploit me or me exploit them. And so if you're looking at that, just do it wisely if you go meet somebody, whatever that may look like. And so what does that look like for you? And for us, it was just really just chilling and having a good time. We didn't go many places. All right. Next day was Sunday, and so it was voting day, so I wasn't going to be able to see D, my guide, until much later that night, or early evening, I'll say. So I was like, let me go find something to eat. Got lost, not like lost horribly, and this is where the Spanish definitely was helpful. Being able to know a little bit of Spanish was very helpful in that case. And so I went to it says a dog park, but it's horrible translation, but it's it's Parque del Perro. And so that was like in literally walking distance from my from my hostel that I was at. And so I walked over there, and I had a plan. I had found a place online that said it had arepas. And so I was like, I can't come to Colombia and not get an arepa. And so I went and walked, and I was like, I can't find this place. Little would I find out later that the last review from this place was like 3 years ago. So obviously that's why no one could find it. And why I say no one, because I end up walking around and I felt funny just walking around lost. So I found their policia, their police out there, and had a great conversation. They thought they knew what I was talking about, and it's because obviously the place was no longer there. And so they're like, oh, well, you can just wait here, talk with us until it opened in about like 40 minutes. So I was like, sure. I mean, I didn't have anything else to do, but I had a good conversation with two of the police, and then another guy who worked nearby came by, because once they find that you're American, and so they want to sell their country as far as all the great things, and just having a conversation, and like I said, it just pretty fluid, and so and when I say fluid, I mean it wasn't like I didn't have any bumps, I had the brakes and all that, like, oh, what does that mean? But it was just really good, just having that conversation with, like I said, talking with locals, and just hearing the accent, and so I had not really wanted to, or I never, I really wanted like the Caribbean accent, and really the Caleños don't have the traditional Colombian accent that people sometimes advertise, and so I think I never really wanted that one that was, I guess, more advertised. But after being there this week, I'm just like, yeah, I want me a Colombian accent. So I just picked up those words, the que chévere and claro, and all the other things of their speed of talking. It was just really nice. When I'm being, it really sounds good to me. And so talked, and then tried to go to that restaurant. Found out it was not the one I thought it was, and the place that they gave me doesn't even sell arepas, and so I didn't want to loop back around after all that time, and so I ended up walking away. I know there's a coffee shop, because I think I was just going to eat something. I was going to eat my leftovers that were in the refrigerator from Thursday night. And so instead of actually doing that, I just stopped at a cafe. Because the cafe was like diagonally across the street from the hostel, and so I ate there. Oh, I didn't mention I did salsa lessons on Friday night at the hostel, and that was salsa, just traditional salsa, which was really good. And so, as I was walking back on that Sunday from the Parque de Perro, I stopped at this cholada place, because I was like, let me just at least get something to eat. And so a cholada is a cholao, as they pronounce it, but it has some crunched ice and a lot of fruit. And like I said, because I went to that fruit, the street tour of the city, seeing everything and tasting all the fruit, I was like, I wanted me some more lulo. I just like lulo, or lulao, all those maracuya. I mean, that maracuya I fell in love with when I went to Panama. And so with that, I was just like, oh yeah, let me get this, at least it'll hold me off. But when I stopped by the cafe, I went, and I don't even know why. Maybe, did I want some, maybe I was trying to buy some water. I'm not even sure what all I did. But anyway, I bought some empanadas there. Just 2 small ones. I just needed a little bit of sustenance in my stomach. And did that. Met a guy there who was really nice. We talked, exchanged information as well. And so I said, Colombians are really nice. As far as like, if you don't speak Spanish, I would say there's what I encountered, they may speak their Spanish a little bit more clear, but they'll repeat it. And so it isn't just like I did not encounter, as far as some of the local places, people who were as bilingual as people may expect, or maybe Americans may expect when they go sometimes to go places, but that wasn't a problem, because I was really trying to. And because the diversity of Colombia exists, and especially in that area, right, they come up to me speaking Spanish, because there are people who look like me, darker, lighter, non-melanated, who speak Spanish. And so it's a very colorful and diverse community to really enjoy. And so I did that, and then that night I ended up meeting up with my tour, maybe not that night, it was probably like 4 or 5ish, and then we went up to Cristo Rey, which is a little bit smaller than, I guess, the statue of Jesus, that to be compared to the one in Brazil. So it was really nice. It was really dark. And so we had all these lights. And like I said, when I said we went up, I mean, we went up. There is this phrase in Cali. It says, Cali es Cali, lo demás es Loma. It pretty much is like we the ish. We the ish. But it's pretty much like, if you really translate it, it's like Cali is Cali and everything else is just a hill. Now, Cali got so many hills. So when I said we went up, we went up because she had a private taxi driver, Dee did, that took us up there. And I mean, we were in a line of people going up there. But it's very romantic for those who may want that scene at night. And it's a lot of family oriented. So people up there taking pictures. And there's vendors, street vendors along the way selling souvenirs and food. And so after we did our pictures up there, and she kind of told me a little bit more about Cristo Rey. And another thing, like, majority of their information is going to be in Spanish. So if you don't have anyone who, especially if an English-speaking guide, and don't speak Spanish or read Spanish, it may be a bit of a struggle to get those historic pieces within that trip. But on the way down, we did stop, and I didn't get any souvenirs. I looked at some because cats are a big thing, which is where we end up going afterwards to the. Look my notes. Yeah. Did we say that? Yeah. Anyway, but no. So I got this arepa. Oh my gosh, this lady was making it right there. So it was fresh, cheese inside, and then they put this like condensed milk on top of it because that's how they typically eat it. And I ate it in my hand. Oh, that was just so fresh. How fine it was! A bit finer than I expected. I love cornmeal. You know, I'm a Southern girl, and so I love cornbread. Anything, put that on there, and I'm good. But yeah, so that arepa was huge. It was delicious, bigger than the ones in Encanto, but they were delicious. So we did that, and then he took us to the cat park, which is what they're really famous for. And it's Parque del Gato, and you get to see all the little cat girlfriends, which are huge statues, and then you will see the main cat. So we took some pictures, read some of that about the little cat girlfriends out there and the main cat, and so my daughters like cats, so I got them some souvenirs the next day or so. But anyway, yeah, we just really enjoyed eating and doing all those things. Did I go get something later that night? Did we walk around? I think we did, because since she knows everything, I would never have dared walk around the street late at night, even here in Dallas. But because I was with her, I was like, okay. But I felt like she knows where she's going. We stopped, and just, I mean, like I said, people were just really out. And like I said, this was a Sunday. The next day was a school day. I'm like, why are these kids still out? And she informed me some kids start later. They don't start, all kids don't start school at the same part of the day, at the same part of the morning. They may start a few hours later, but they still end a little bit later. So it's those cultural pieces that was really good, that she was able to give me a lot of great information. I wasn't able to go to Buenaventura with her, just based off of some other travelers backing out, but I was able to see this mural that was dedicated to it, so she gave me a little bit more information. So we talked about that African influence in there. So that was that on Sunday. Went to sleep, and we'll talk about Monday next.